EE Office of Educational Effectiveness. I am the facilitator for this session. During the session, please feel free to share your questions or comments in the chat anytime. Later today, you will receive a brief survey from us, and we would love to hear your feedback. We also hope you will join us for other Love Data Week sessions and for our in-person open house on Friday. And this session is presented by Xian Bak. Xian is a library data scientist from the university libraries. And without further ado, thank you all again for being here. And now I'm going to turn it over to Xian.
Thank you, Lynn. Uh, Hello everyone. My name is Xian Bak. I am the data scientist from the library. I'm relatively new, so I joined the SBU about 5 months ago. So this will be my first time to meet many of you here. Today, I'm glad to present interactive data collection. It's a program piloted at the library to collect the students' inputs, which has received a lot of love from the students at the first data point. The top right, the picture you can see, that's an example of our data board questions. So this data board, this question, uh, not only attracted a lot of students to participate in the library, but also we received a lot of response in our social media. So normally our post is about like a 2 to 3 digits, and this one we received like more than 14K likes. So we harvested a lot of hearts. So the love is pretty real. Um, Today's agenda, we're going to first give you an overview of our pilot. It will be followed by some examples and how we measure the engagement level. And finally, we will provide the lessons learned and the final takeaways. So pilot overview, start from the big picture. So our library, we piloted this fun, cost-effective way to collect the students' input using interactive data boards. So we just simply set up a data board on the chart, and the students who passes by will review their answers to the question using the tools we provided to them. Um, so the purposes of this pilot, number one, is to increase student engagement. So answering survey questions doesn't have to feel like a chore, while it could be fun and engaging. And second, we want to take advantage of this opportunity to measure the engagement level by calculating the response rate, which is not commonly reported in similar activities as we heard from other research university libraries. And the last, we want to use the lessons we learned from this pilot to inform future programming rollout. So this in most of the cases, the data boards we used in this approach exceeded the typical Canvas-wide anecdotal response rate, and it is also can be very easily to be replicated and adapted by other departments who wants to try to engage and creative data collection. Implementation at a quick glance. So this is about 2 weeks pilot. It took place during the fall 2025 finals period week. And we set up the data boards across 3 different study areas in our Frank Melware library. So they are North Reading Room, Central Reading Room, and main stack. The research questions we asked ranged from library to fun, life, and to AI-themed questions. The tools we used including stickers of different shapes, markers, push pins, and the chart types we tested were count plot, scatter plots, Venn diagrams, and pie charts. So there are total 27 question boards used, um, has been displayed, and each time I try to limit it to one to two boards at one location at a time, and each board will be displayed for 1 to 3 days. I'm just going to provide you a set of examples to show different use cases. So this chart, for example, this chart helps us to understand our users, our library use patterns. Specifically in this chart, we asked, how often do you visit campus library each week? So the answer, the pattern, the response on the board from the left picture is very visible instantly. Most of the visitors are repeatedly visiting the library throughout the week. With some data post processing, I get the chart on the right, which is aggregated charts by combining all the responses from all our tested locations for the same question. So there were 281 students responded in total, and it was surprising to me, 45% of them visited the library daily. And this is an example we used to ask what type of library services you are most needed from us during the library final weekends, finals week. It is it, the results is very obvious at once, right? So students prefer therapy dogs over other options. So this type of clarity is will be very helpful for us to plan events ahead. And some other examples are not collecting really like useful insights. It's just for engaging, just for fun. We don't need to quantify anything here. It's a more like a mini stress relief stations for the students to engage with. They drew, they joked, and they personalized their drawings. Uh, and This example shows we can use it to collect meaningful insights. It tells us opinion matters. We asked them, are you agree AI has made exam reviewing much easier for me? And we asked them to answer the question by putting place the push pin in 3 areas: agree, disagree, somewhat disagree, and somewhat disagree. So it's not too surprising to see most of the students agree AI has made the exam reviewing much easier, but it is very interesting to see the differences here. So for health science, it gets the tallest blue bar, which means for health science, for students in health science field, they had the largest portion of them agrees that AI helped them with a final exam reviewing, but the STEM majors has the largest share of disagree. And art science, art and humanity and social science, that has the most unsure, the somewhat disagree one. So they have the largest orange color here. So this could be the first step of a very interesting research topic to continue. So this sounds very fun, very engaging, right? But how do we measure uh, the engagement level? We use the response rate. So as you can imagine, it will be just simply to divide the total number of respondents by the total number of visitors to the library. So the respondents is just to simply count how many tools, stickers, or pushpins has been placed on the board. And for the total number of unique visitors, we leverage the data, the library traffic data we have. We have been collecting that for reporting purposes. Uh, so we know how many people are in and out uh, throughout the day. But that library traffic data is it does not identify unique visitors. So if you re-enter multiple times, they will count you as several visitors. So we have to adjust that traffic in and out traffic by some assumptions, using some assumptions to get a unique visitors number visited at the library. So use a very conservative estimate and excluding some of the outliers. So our estimation for the data boards in our pilot achieved a course response rate ranging between 4 and 7. This exceeded the anecdotal campus-wide response rate of 4%. So not everything worked. This is an example uh, with the lowest response rate. So this response rate is less than 3. And there were several reasons for this. So the chart design, I agree, I could improve it better. So this is a scattered chart. We asked how many books do you borrow each semester, e-books versus print books. So to answer this question, the students have to answer 3 questions at the same time. The number of print books you borrow, the number of e-books you borrow. That's 2 questions. Plus they have to reveal their group. So that's a 3 question at once. So it may be a little too busy. Um, and not only too complicated. Not only that, I didn't have a good prediction on how popular this answering space would be. So I didn't leave enough zero borrowings on the space on the data board. So we can see a lot of a clustered response on top of each other. So when I'm counting the number of respondents, so I will lose some population there. So that could lead to the low response rate calculation. And also the question itself may be less engaging to the students. On top of that, that day it's 2 data board displayed. The data board next to this one is this most engaging data board. So this one had the highest response rate. I cannot even count what's the number of respondents because it was off charts, right? You can see the long tail here. And does that matter? Yeah. So depending on your question, right? So for this question, I don't really want to quantify the results. I just want to get provide it as a stress relief tool. And it's an indicative, it's a qualitative. We know if the students are prepared. So that's enough. So it is okay for this purpose. Um, so this chart summarized all the response rate across from all those data boards. Each dot is a response rate of one data board after I remove those unusable data boards. So this response rate board is shown by chart types. So the scattered type data boards received the lowest response rate for reasons we discussed earlier. The questions are too many questions at the same time and a limited spacing, answering space, and the question is less engaging. It all other possible reasons causing this. But other than this, for the rest of the data boards, we achieved a pretty good um, response rate above 4%. Uh, what are the key lessons learned here? So it's visually engaging. It definitely attracts students' attention, and it's invited exploration instead of a commitment like a traditional survey. You have to answer the full survey. It's kind of tedious and long, and you don't know how the final results is going to be used. So this way, it's just this moment you place a tool on the chart and you had fun. And it's low cost and easy to deploy. Um, and it can be used as a data literacy tool too, because when you are trying to answer the question, you need to know how to read the chart. Like the go viral chart about how ready your final is. That one, the students start to criticize, like, oh, what's your Y label? It's not clear to us. So it makes students to think about how a good chart should be designed. So it's like a could be used as an education moment. And also, you can use it to promote your other services by pairing it with a relevant leading question and providing relevant um, service resources information next to the chart as well. And lastly, the results are displayed real time. That's a pro, but it's also a con because you see the results displayed, and those displayed results could potentially influence the participants who answer the question later. So you could bias the results a little bit. And also the question, you cannot ask too many at a time, right? So each board is an isolated, independent question compared with traditional survey, which we can chain, like link all the questions together. You can do deeper analysis that way, but this way, that's a limitation there. And also, you need to get ready for some time-consuming post-processing of the data. Um, if the tools were not placed on the chart in a consistent way, so you may need a lot of time to do some cleaning. Luckily, I got some help from students, so it was not too bad for this case. Um, and lastly, as we mentioned before, um, so some of the responses could be truncated because of the clustering or because of some of the color of the stickers run out because I didn't predict there were so many STEM students in the library. So, but luckily students are flexible and smart as well. When they run out of a certain color, they automatically placed a different color, which I didn't choose. They added that color as a new legend. So for STEM major, there were two color there. So yeah, it's very interesting to see those flexibility and creativity there. But if the students shows too much creativity, then you see some unusable information will be collected. Then if it's a question that quantitatively matters, then those data boards won't be used or won't be able to be used. So some final tips, and then it will be final takeaways. So always try to place some example markers on the data board to guide the expected response patterns. And also try to use smaller tools when you think there will be a high volume of visitors to your dashboard. Scatter charts are tricky, so to try to use it carefully. And always, if you're worried about your serious information, uh, like questions are not attractive enough to students, you can always try to pair it up with uh, pair up fun questions with your functional questions. And then lastly, try to always use leverage the tool color to capture additional respondents attributes. This not only helps us to see um, the response by different groups, but also you can use it to evaluate if our survey population is a representative of the university population. Like here, for example, I collected their. Sorry, I don't know how to remove this. Oh, I can just simply. So, for example, here I know their class year, I know their subject area. I can compare that with the university fact book, which shows us the university-wide population distribution. Um, so the freshmen are overrepresented, and the graduate students are underrepresented. And art and humanities are overrepresented, and social science are underrepresented. So with that information, if we want to get a overall view of the university's population answer, we will be able to just use the university distribution to weight our sample to get a uh, to get our results for those group for the university-wide opinion. So it is always good to include the uh, to collect some demographic information of the answers users. And the final takeaways. So it is fun and easy to set up, and it's cost effective, and has a high response rate. But it's not perfect data, so it's not designed for deep or comprehensive analysis. So it will work the best when you want to prioritize student engagement, or you only have a small number of questions to ask. You want to get some quick directional qualitative insights, or you just want to simply test some assumptions before a large scale survey. So you can use it as a discovery tool before a large scale survey, test your assumptions. And then lastly, you can cross promote your services. It can help raise awareness by providing this interactive by using this interactive approach. So let's make data collection fun. Um, I just provide anecdotal evidence from our service desk. They saw students coming and asking, "Oh, let's see, check out what's the question today." So I think students like it, and if you can find a use of it, it can be really cool, I think. Okay, so thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
The questions that I had, sorry, I'm Montiel Shami. I'm also new to Stony Brook. I started in December. I love this idea. I am in the Office of Student Life. My official title is Student Engagement and Transition Strategist. And one of the big things that I've heard so far is a lot of these students are having like survey fatigue, that they're getting surveys sent to their emails and sent to their phones and stuff like that. So I love this idea. So my question is more so on the lines of, can I reach out to you and maybe potentially collaborate on something in this vein and do something specifically related to the student engagement efforts here within the office? Because I love this idea.
Yeah, totally. So you got my email address here, and
Yeah.
we will also have a open house table on Friday, so feel free to talk more there.
Excellent. I have a quick question, Xian. It was a very informative and engaging presentation you just gave. So what are your next steps? Now you've collected your pilot data, right? So what are your next steps?
So, we've learned many lessons here, right? So next steps, I don't think we will have a very large scale run of this anytime soon. But if there is any needs, say, some special months is coming, we want to provide some services. So um, we can do some charts, for example, like this to see what students are interested to see. So we can use that to improve our library services to be offered. Um, and yeah, we don't have any follow-ups for each particular questions asked here. So the questions is more of like a sample, yeah, a sample of different tastes for us to get a idea of how students would react to. So since we have extra time, I don't mind to share some additional questions we have here and post the data processing as well. Yeah, so you see this one is they answered, there are 82 students answered they are not borrowing any books out of 169 students here, right? For this one. And for this one, um, students' views on allowing AI for coursework. So we can see the junior and senior group has the most supportive uh, responses for the AI usage for class assignment. And for this one, we know already which way the students are mostly prefer to receive services from library because we collected that data for reporting reasons. So like I just want to test it this how that matches with the true data. So the true data is the pink line. So and our response from the data boards are those bars here. So it matches well. It's kind of providing some evidence about the quality of the response and social app usage. So now we know TikTok and Instagram are really the most popular tools for the students. So next time when we advertise something, we will definitely maybe cover those area. And like a winter books preference, so it can help with our collection, maybe something like that. So yeah, we don't have a concrete plan in short, but I think, but if we when we have a need to uh, do it again. So I think we have a good starting point.
Thank you. And then I love the flower is the flower chart. Yeah, these are so nice. It looks so cool. And I'm sure like Anzi was mentioning, students are so fatigued from, all getting these emails, surveys and emails and all that. And then this is going back to the old, pen and pencil kind of type of way, but then you don't really need to write anything. It's just put a sticker on. I think that's a great idea. I think a lot of our staff and faculty members could use, the takeaways and apply it to their work. I was thinking, are there screens available, in the library that we can display, maybe, I don't know, a QR code. So, going back to, you don't want your responses to be biased by, other students' responses because they can see what others put down. So I was thinking, if we move it to, again, like resort back to digital, and then maybe say something like, oh, check out the results in a week. I wonder if that could prevent some of that bias. Other students are following suit, like, oh, I see this, people are putting like zero, like on not borrowing ebooks or print books, I'm going to follow them too. And then just kind of, it's fun. Um, yeah, but like you said, part of the reason of doing this, it's also to create something, community to bring students together and then make it fun. So I think it's good. But I'm just curious to see if there are screens around that you can use, in the library to display some of the that QR code, for a quick question, survey question of the day, I don't know. Do you guys have screens around that would you would use that or no?
I think so. I think we have screens, but I think we haven't used that for survey questions
Mm,
through that
okay.
way. Yeah, that way we'll mm, miss the
Right.
engagement part a little bit. Um, but I do see the concern of those biased results, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes, say, if they didn't dis place the tools in a consistent, organized way, even it's hard for me to read the answers here, right? So if it's
Yeah.
hard for me to read, so maybe hard for them to read, then hopefully that can mute, reduce the bias a little bit. But it's just create more work for me to push the processing them.
Yeah. And especially when you have more categories at the bottom here and then the answers kind of just right go like how to say like merge into other answers and then it will be hard
Clustered.
to
Uh-huh.
right it will be hard to tell like oh I think it was one of the charts in the beginning. Um,
Oh, the tail, the long tail.
the long tail, or even this one, right? Like, how do you do? What is barely? What is the boundary here? It's kind of hard to.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess that's another kind of con for doing it in person or visually. Like some people, wouldn't.
Yeah,
It's like herding cats.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Do we
Like
have other questions for Xian? All right. Wonderful. Oh, Anzi, do you have another question?
No, no, I'm gonna save it for when I set up a time to
Okay.
speak with Xian because this was awesome and I have a ton of ideas and I think that
Yes.
I think that the one thing I appreciate about this is this, there's opportunity here for like interdepartmental collaboration on really strong initiatives. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I'm really excited to speak with you, Xian, to
Okay,
hear
look
from
forward
you.
to talk to you, Ozzy.
Yeah, perfect. I see we're at time, and thank you all for coming, and hope to see you in other sessions or at the open house on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.